So at the end of my 5th week of my 12-week challenge, I can honestly say that it's been a very interesting week. Productive at the beginning, and then it took a bit of a dip in the middle. How did it end? Tell you in a minute. So I'm at the end of my 5th week of my 12-week challenge. I must say my moods are up, my spirits are up, I've got lots of motivation. There's all sorts of things that are contributing to that. That's just the way life is. Things happen. Beginning of the week, I was really enthusiastic. I had lots of ideas in my head. I did manage to get them out onto paper. So from a productive point of view, the week has been useful. Although, as you know, it kind of took a bit of a dip in the middle, changed the mood. Seas started to get stormy, to use the metaphor I used this week, and things got really busy. Life gets in the way. Things happen towards the end of the week. And so basically I can say that the productive part of the week was the beginning, and the middle and end part of the week kind of fell back the way. But, you know, it's not that I was just sitting doing nothing. Things were going on. And I learned this week just to accept that, just to understand that, you know, you can't be on task for just one thing every single day, and unless you want to sacrifice the rest of your valued actions. And sometimes things come into conflict, and you know what? That's what happens. It's okay. We can accept that, and we can understand that that is part of the process. I'm also beginning to think towards the end of this week in my reflection that there's a bit of Parkinson's law going on. Parkinson's law is kind of a principle, a law, let's say, that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. This was articulated by Cyril Northcote Parkinson, so it was named after him. And the idea is, without going into all the details right now, the idea is, using my example, if I've got 12 weeks in this challenge to come up with an online course, I will take all of the 12 weeks in order to do it. If it was only a 6 weeks challenge, I would have come up with it in 6 weeks, and so on and so forth. If I'd made this a 6-month challenge, it's likely that I'm going to take all of that time to do it. And that's what Parkinson's law is about. It works with money as well. But in this particular case, I get the feeling, because I've got the 12 weeks, well, you know, I'm taking that whole 12 weeks in order to do it. And I think the Pareto principle is also active here, right? And that's named after that economist, Vilfredo Pareto. And he stated that, or kind of observed rather, that 80% of the consequences come from 20% of the causes. And to translate that into my 12-week challenge, sometimes known as the Pareto rule or the 80-20 rule, basically it will mean that 80% of the work on this online course I'm going to do will probably come at 20% of the time, and that will be towards the end of the 12 weeks. So as we get closer to the deadline, I'll probably become more and more efficient. Time will tell if that is true. In any case, hopefully you'll hear it in my voice. Spirits are up. I'm ready to go. I can't believe that I'm going into my 6th week next week, into my my halfway point. I really do believe that I'm on schedule. Everything is ticking over nicely. I'm not getting, I'm learning to surf the emotional waves. And I do believe, and I'm very confident in my belief, that I will have something by the end of the time. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. See you next time.
Dov Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman has embarked on a 12-week daily live challenge to disseminate a mixture of knowledge, combining his hand-picked golden nuggets from his personal library together with his decades of experience and learning. He is doing this as a committed action to service his values of contributing and helping others, using himself as the subject of this exercise, despite his feelings of awkwardness, anxiousness, and shame, which usually forms a barrier of uncomfortableness within, holding him back from accomplishing his goals. Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman is an accomplished psychotherapist and clinical social worker with many years of learning and experience. And yet his self-disclosure of his vulnerability and openness is to demonstrate the human condition that we all experience from time to time. Disclaimer: the contents of this podcast, such as text, graphics, images, and other material contained on the podcast, are for informational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your mental health professional or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding your condition. Never disregard professional advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast.